Good evening. It's great to see all of you here. It's wonderful to have you here. It's been an interesting series so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any pulling together of the different things that we've heard. So, welcome to the University of Charleston. Welcome to the University of Charleston Speaker Series. This series of events has been boldly supported by the Dow Chemical Foundation, and we appreciate their interest in the learning that takes place in our community and their support for the university. So thanks to Jim Guidarini and the entire team of folks at Dow Chemical Foundation and Dow Chemical. So thank you very much. For tonight, I also want to thank Rabbi Victor Urecki, who initiated the contact with tonight's speaker, and the Federated Jewish Charities of Charleston for being a co-sponsor for this conversation so we could benefit from Ambassador Kurtzer's participation. One news announcement, and that is on Thursday, May 5th, we will have another interesting evening called The Joy of Text. The Joy of Text. I can say that T maybe without messing up the mic, but I'm not sure. If I put it down a little, it might work better. So, the Joy of Text. The rabbi, the imam, and the monsignor will all be here to share their perspectives on Hebrew Scriptures, the Islamic Quran, and the Christian Bible. And how do they interpret texts, and how do they differ, or is there convergence in those religious writings? For tonight, I encourage you to turn off all those things that make noise so it doesn't disturb us or your neighbors. This is a conversation, as you know. I'm the facilitator of that conversation. I'm not here with a position that I am trying to impose, nor does the university have a position. I will ask questions so that we can hear and learn from our speaker and how he thinks. We will take written questions. I hope you have cards and pencils to write those questions out, and they will be collected, and I'll be given questions that are samples of those that you are asking, and we'll ask as many of those as we can. If you wish to put on the back of the card your email address, we'll make sure you're notified about upcoming events of this kind. And if you have topics you want to suggest for us to explore in some detail next year or thereafter, please feel free to add those as well. If I may, to give just a brief recap of what has happened in this series. Our first guest was Ambassador William Harrop. He shared with us the position of the J Street Group. He said, among other things, that this group was pro-Israel and pro-peace Americans. He said that the best thing for Israel to do would be to get out of the illegal, unlawful settlements and negotiate a real peace with Palestinians. And he said that long-term, Israel has to choose between being a democracy with a possible Palestinian majority or being an oppressor state that does not have Palestinians returning to the homeland or a part of that land. Next, Israeli Consul General Daniel Kuttner pointed out that Israel is a very small country surrounded by enemies. Israel has kept and benefited from the 30-year-long treaty with Egypt. It can be trusted as a negotiating partner, and it supports a two-state solution that creates a Jewish state without Palestinian refugees. The radicals in the Palestinian movement are, however, preventing progress because they will not even recognize Israel's right to exist. And then PLO Representative Ma'in Arakat said that and agreed that a two-state solution is still possible, but Palestinian refugees must be allowed to return to their homelands in areas occupied by Israel. Palestinians, he said, have made very generous offers of land and peace to Israel, but Israel does not really accept the development of a Palestinian state.